Kay mo to, basin kung matulog lang imong kwarta sa bangko, inigdawat nimo sa investment, na nakay bag-ong raptor pagkaugma, di ba? So,
See a
sa akong mga friends nila, sila mo spare. Hi, good afternoon. I am Paulo Rodriguez from Aquila Softwares, and I have with me Richard Day and Sir Ton, and welcome to the episode 3 of Vision to Venture. Okay, so for this afternoon, I have here two admirable business owners and startup movers in Davao City. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So let's start with you, Char.
Hi, I'm Richard Day from Upgrade Innolab Incorporated. We are a business incubator and accelerator that's helping Filipino founders to build, launch, and accelerate their businesses. We are Davao-based, but we are providing support to entrepreneurs and startup communities around the Philippines.
Hi, I'm Bernardino of the Bloom Coffee and Startup Space.
Okay, sige. So, mao na magyud ni karon nag-host naman ko ani no. So, anyway, all right. So, to start, in today's business environment, securing the right funding is essential for growth. Tama. So, from your experiences, what do you think it's so critical for startups and small businesses to carefully choose their funding strategies? Same ha, Chard.
Yeah, so I think funding serves different purposes for startups or for different companies depending on the stages that they're at right now in their business. So, for example, for early stage startup companies or teams that are still developing the business idea and trying to test it or validate it with the market. So, in the Philippines, there's a lot of funding programs that the government is providing. So, for one case, the Department of Science and Technology provides the Startup Grant Fund program, so which covers or provides 1 million pesos to 5 million pesos funding for research and development. So for other government agencies like the Department of Information and Communications Technology, they also provide maximum of 1 million pesos for product development. So I'm saying that for that stage of startups, which is being early stage and trying to develop and validate their product, so it's good to source funding where there is less equity share or hopefully equity free, and where they can build the idea without thinking of like how much stake are they losing in terms of business.
Sa for certain, sa inyong case, sir, when you started the Bloom Coffee, like how did you strategize sa inyong funding?
First, we took a loan. We took a loan sa bank for us to start our business, and then it's very essential also that you need to know the interest rate of the bank. So before you take that loan, it's very important also that you have to consider the interest. Kasi it's different from Sir Richard's investment. Kasi they will invest on your company, but there's an equity share. On our end, wala kasi we own 100% of our company, and then the bank just lend us the money. But it's very also you need to consider also the interest.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, daghan man good og founders sa ako ang mga kaila na karon like nag-startup sila, and then they're really asking me or they're wondering na when is the right time for us to start getting funds, no? Like for grants, investments. So is it before the MVP stage, during the ideation, or during the So I think this is one thing that we can discuss on later on, no? So the first topic on point here is bootstrapping. No, okay, I think many startups really start in this type of of funding. No? So to Richard, at Upgrade Innolab, you work closely with startups in their earliest stages, tama? So how does bootstrapping play into the startup journey? And what advice do you give entrepreneurs who are just getting started with limited resources?
So, bootstrapping or using your savings to finance your startup company or business is something that startups can learn a lot, right? So, maybe three lessons to share based on experience. So, number one is that I think with bootstrapping, having less is learning more for startup companies. So it's because they mature with the experience that they don't have much resources, but they have to do the dirty work by themselves, navigate the ecosystem, work with suppliers, and all the limitations that they have. Second, they are pushed to their limits, and that makes them more innovative and creative. So, with the limitations that they're set upon, so founders get to create more ways or more new things that will help them survive the difficulties and challenges. And number three is appreciation of the team. So here, during the bootstrapping stage, you will get to know more your co-founders, I would say. So, and it's how you warm up, see them during the lowest point of your journey as startup founders, because having less, it could be the lowest point as well
Yeah.
of you and surviving, the challenges together.
Yeah.
So, and many, like for the side of the incubators, we look at the team during the screening process as they get into our program. So, and we always look at if the team is aligned with the same values and are into achieving the same vision with their business.
Yeah. Tinood kay na ano kay Andrew always mentions about the Death Valley,
Yes.
no? And a lot of startups, labi na pag walay budget, walay kwarta, and a lot of startups are nagsugod jud na walay kwarta, no? So with the team members, usually diha gyud nato ma-filter kung who are those people who would stick with us throughout the journey. Yeah. So sa case naman sa Bloom, sir, you've mentioned na you took out a loan, no? So how was the experience? Kumbaga mo pressure ba kayo kay you have to pay off the interest or
Actually, yes, no. Our loan is not that big. I think we started around 900,000 lang to start Bloom. Okay, so but since na we only have limited amount na resources, we have to work on our own. Like yung to mga tables and chairs, kami mismo, ako nag-welding. I learned something, I studied YouTube. I studied how to mag-welding sa YouTube.
University.
Oo, sa YouTube University.
Grabe.
Para unsang pag-welding, unsang pagpa-smooth sa kahoy, and then pag-cut. And then, since na very expensive ang mga furnitures, So, tama to yung ni Sir Richard na if you have limited resources, less mistake. Oo. Rather than katong daghan ka dako yung mga resources and then you tend to spend more, mga unreasonable na gastos. So I started 900,000 and then since na ang interest niya is very minimal lang, so we were able to survive even sa pandemic na time. No, kasi we opened January 25, 2020 and then few months after nag-lockdown tanan, So we have to pay also gihapon tong interest. So since na wala pud ko'y team kaayo kay since na ako lang to isa. So ako naging barista, ako naging janitor, server, cashier, purchaser, closer, tanan.
daltan day ka
Oo, tanan. So ang expenses, operating expenses is very low also. Tama po ito yung ni Sir Richard na you have to do the dirty works with tanan for you able to survive ang imong company.
Okay, actually no, I think na in the startup, it doesn't just kumbaga usahay man good when we think about startups, tech dayon ang maisip. But actually, if your business is starting, then technically you're a startup, no? So the same with sa Blooms, coffee shop siya, the same thing. Ikaw gihapon ang mangunay tanan. So,
Oo.
even sa tech, like as a tech startup, it's very important that you do the dirty work sa sugod, no? Okay, usahay makuan kayo nato ang kumbaga murag ma-romanticize kay nato na yeah, I'm the founder, so I'll just delegate and delegate. But the truth is, you need to start from the ground na ikaw like when we started, ako naga-marketing, naga-code, ako naga-customer service, technical support and everything. No, okay, you have to do it. Kay mapapapag kay tao na masoldohan for that. So,
I
yeah.
think that's the beauty also sa inana, no, because we're able to learn to ins and outs sa imong business. 'Di ba? So as you grow, habang nagadako imong company, imong business, kabalo na ka unsa ano yung pag ano sa mga tao, pag delegate sa task yun. Kasi you know how it works pa sa marketing na side, sa sales na side. So sa ako na case pod, kabalo ko maghimog coffee na, and then kabalo ko magluto. In fact, katong ubang food dere, gikan jud sa amko So kabalo ko unsang taste regionally. And then mas maano na ko siya ba, mas ma distinguish na ko if na mali or not. Kasi gikan man sa ko, even ang mga recipe sa coffee, ano, so gikan mag-start gid sa kuha. So I know good unsa ron. So
Yeah.
mm.
Do you think that bootstrapping is viable for every type of business, or do you think nga naay business na dili siya pwede i-bootstrap?
Yeah, I think that's viable for all types of businesses. So, even like big companies, when they launch like new products or new line of products, so they actually start with a project team, right? So they constitute or create like a small group of talents within the company, and they are given small amount of funding. So though it's not from their savings, but I think in terms of the lesson of bootstrapping, of having less, just for you to be framed on certain limitations in terms of budget, so that you can create the optimal opportunity and creation of whatever product or service you're working on. So it's something that all types of companies, small or big, take good lessons or great lessons from. So based on experience as well, so even if we're incubating growth stage or scale up companies, they still appreciate lessons from the time that they started lean, no? So and use their bootstrap fund.
How about you, sir? What do you think? Say tanaw nimo na.
Yeah, I think it's also viable. So to any kind of business na to bootstrap, actually it also depends pud sa person if comfortable siya na ano. But I think it's also viable sa lahat ng any types of business.
Ako naman, I think it's not dependent on the type of business, but rather on the founder. No, kay
Yeah.
syempre para sa amo when we started, wala man mi kwarta na sarili. So of course, it's very difficult to
Bootstrap.
yeah,
It's not an option.
yeah. So wala jud mi choice but to look for ways and how we can fund the business. So what we did is giuna na mo ang customer, nagkuha mi client una, then we use the
Yeah.
money to expand. So or else paglisod mo pug kayo unless like anak ta ni bilyonaryo dira kay you can bootstrap your own business, diba?
Yeah.
Ayan. So, for the next topic, we'll be focusing naman this time on business loans, small business loans. No, so kani siya. So for Richard, small business loans are another common option for entrepreneurs. How do you help startups at Upgrade Innolab determine if taking out a loan is the right choice for them?
For loans, the rule of thumb is that you borrow money if you can put work to it, and if you can make more money or even more money out of that loan. So this means that you've seen a good business opportunity. Say for example, there is a bidding and you need some working capital for you to qualify for the bidding. Or if there's a project that you want to develop because certain companies need that project and you need the working capital. So there is an assured opportunity or opportunity waiting for you on the other end, but you just need that working capital just for you to be able to work your way to the opportunity that's available in the other end. So that's the journey or that's the criteria. It's because that's the way that you will be able to pay for the interest
Oo.
of the bank. So at the same time, that's the way for you to be able to come out of it with profit at the end of the day. So those are the certain like logical criteria or lens that we're looking at once we encourage startup companies to avail of loans. And so far, like we endorse them to low interest, startup companies. We endorse them to low interest loans. So right now there are cooperatives that are offering loans. So for upgrade, we work with the Golden Unicorn Cooperative. So there are also non-government organizations that are offering some funding that are not loans but financing. So like Impact Pioneers Network provides some loans or working capital for the business to further grow. And on side of the government, we also have the small business corporations, which is under the DTI GOCC that also support MSMEs to get low interest loans.
Yeah. Actually, nindot no kay daghan kaayo og kanang pwede malonan na in starting a business. How about sa inyo, sir, in starting the Blooms? Kasi you've mentioned na you started out na nag-take out mo loan. So, what was your rule of thumb when you,
Actually, wala kayo may idea where to get a loan. So, the only pinakapaspas na wala siya for us, wala siya kanang any other CI or whatever. Credit to cash. Actually, credit to cash. It's very low lang pod kaya ang interest.
bank ba na siya?
Oh, bank. So if you have, let's say, credit card na dako ang credit limit, let's say you have credit card na 2 million credit limit, you can convert it to cash. So at very minimal monthly interest rate. Usually other banks offer 0.59% per month. So it's very low. I mean, it's okay na. It's okay. Kung i-multiply nimo siya to 12 per year, so dili siya kaabot og 10% per year, so it's very okay na siya. Motong one thing na na-learn ako before ko nag-start with Bloom is that I need to gid sa akong credit score para madako akong credit limit, tagaan ko nilang dako na credit limit para if something na I need to expand my business, dito na ako siya ginakuha na lang. So I just need to call the bank and then mag kuha ko credit to cash sa credit card. So moto ang gid pinakadako na nag-help kay Bloom, especially dito sa after pandemic. Dito after pandemic medyo na na mga cash cash flow na mo apektuhan na siya. Kasi natong nag-operate na and then na mga expenses balik pero ang market di pa kaya kusog even though na may mga technologies na gi-adapt like Grab, online ordering, so may website, everything to order. Di gyapon makaano. So dito gyapon may nag-ask help sa bank.
That's nice. I think it's very kumbaga murag very timely ni ato ang discussion karon kay there are a lot of startups facing difficulties jud in getting funds, no, labi na sa ato ang setup. Although I'm like sa ko ang startup, we are very happy that there are a lot of funding available already, no. It's just that yun, for example, is kung sa bank ka mag-loan, like it needs, the bank requires you to have 2 years at least na corporate account and whatsoever before ka maka-loan. So medyo challenging siya na part. Now in terms of tech startups naman, specifically for tech startups, I think it's kinda challenging if kung tech startup ka and then you start out with a loan. Kay kumbaga, it's like you need to build the product and then you do product market fit and then you do sales and marketing pa before launching and everything pa. And then, kaya tama ang puguto yung ingon ka ganina, Chard, na if you take out a loan, the rule of thumb is that kailangan na kumbaga mo sa government na project bitaw sa na kay PO daan ba? Before ka mo take out a loan, para sure ka nga katay mong ilo mabayaran na gid siya ahead of time. Pero I think in tech startups, kumbaga the dynamics is different So I think that's where the next focus na to mag come in, which is crowdfunding. No? So for crowdfunding has become an increasingly popular method for raising capital. So for Richard, how do you see startups at Upgrade Innolab leveraging crowdfunding, and what makes a crowdfunding campaign successful?
Yeah, so with Upgrade Innolab, so for cohort 5, we're actually engaged with the Bridge International Korea. So they are a crowdfunding platform that's working with several INGOs or international non-government organizations as well. So such as Asian Development Bank, UNDP, and many more. So we think that we need formalized institutions that organize this crowdfunding effort. So it's because it has to go to the legitimate purposes. And this time around, it has to go to startups as angel investment or seed capital for the starting early stage businesses. So in terms of being able to qualify for crowdfunding, I think there's a lot of crowdfunding platforms that are meant or established for certain niche or specific reasons. So there are those that are for the impact or social enterprise companies. So which means that the criteria for you to avail of the service of that crowdfunding organization is you need to be impact driven. So your metrics should not only be for profit. So it has to include how you're able to contribute to people, to planet, and make also profit while you are in that purpose of establishing your company. There are also those that crowdfunding platform that are meant to engage with families. No, so a few years ago, my friend Marion Camacho organized this crowdfunding platform called Beaver. So, and the main intention is if you would like to fundraise through family and friends, sometimes if you do it in a casual way, like Tito, Tita, can I ask for money for my business? The conversation, is thrown in an awkward way.
Yeah.
And it
Di na Pinoy tayo.
right. And sometimes the next Christmas dinner or
Di na mo
holiday or reunion, so there might be some awkwardness. It's because the business didn't do well or didn't succeed. So for that engagement to be formalized and work out as a transaction, as a legitimate business transaction, he established or built that platform wherein you can raise funding through family and friends, but through a platform. So there are conditions, there are explanations of rules, and how the money will be provided or will be released to the family member who's raising funding. So definitely, it's another opportunity for startup founders to raise money.
Yeah, nice, nice. Funny thing, you've mentioned Beaver. Actually, when Aquila started, nag-post ko sa Startup PH na Facebook group. So, I posted there na I do have a startup. I'm starting this. I'm focusing on medical software. So, kinsa makatabang sa kuha. So, fortunately, Marion actually reached out to me. So, I
Alright,
think
a small
si
world.
Marion ang nag-introduce sa imuha sa kuha.
Yeah, I remember.
Oo. So, nag-apply po me sa Beaver. No? So, I think that's definitely something that you guys should check out. No? Dili rin siya sponsored. Yeah, pero it helped us a lot. So, I think if you're a startup founder, you should check that out. Yeah. And, for certain, so, have you ever considered or used crowdfunding in your business?
Wala eh. We actually, sa banks, no, we all usually ask help sa bank. Kasi I'm scared. I'm scared na basi ma-disappoint na ako sila. At least kung ang bank ma-disappoint, dagam sila kwarta. So.
Okay ra?
Okay ra. Pero pag imong parents, or imong tito, tita, diba? Kaayo ka nang basi ma-disappoint sila. So, ulaw ba? Ulaw.
Actually, that's really true, no? Kay labi na in the risk of the relationship. Kay labi na Filipino tatama jud ka char na basin karon na Christmas nakita mo, uy, hindi pahulmas ako na. Sunod Pasko di na mo mag-exchange gift.
Pero but I do have another business na kami mga friends nag-pull in gid og money to start a business. Pero some failed, some succeed, okay lang. Pero still katong mga friends na to, still business partner gyapon ako sa other businesses. Still we're friends, good friends gyapon. Maski pa na other investments na mo, not good. Wala nag-work. Pero, I think it depends also sa imuhang mga friends or families. So, how open-minded they are sa, there, actually, once na mag-ingon magud ka, there's a risk na, di ba?
Yeah.
Dapat kabalo na sila na once na maghatag sila, there's a risk na yun. It may fail or not. So, katong mga friends na ako, they were aware mong good na there's a risk yun. But we have to work on it para mag-work ito yung business na to. At least magamay ang risk. So, kato.
Nice. Gwapo na experience, no? At least like sa group of friends ba, like you put in capital.
dagan.
Actually, we've tried that before pero wala nag-work. Wala nag-work ang friendship.
One thing na na-learn ako with my other mentors, ingon siya na if ang imo mga friend kay nag-aasa atong income atong business na to, dito mag-away gyud.
Oh.
Pero if it's something na spare money lang nila to invest, kato okay lang yun to. Kasi they know na katong money na to, spare na to, and then ilang family dili magutom.
Yeah.
In case man na ma-fail ni na business. It's like investment lang ba na side investment. Baga lang siya ba? Magiging passive income hopefully magiging passive income unta to. Pero na fail, let's say worst comes to worst na fail. So okay lang sa ila ha. So actually murag tulo ka business among nag-fund jud me and then na fail and then na fund and na fail. Fund still good friend gyapon me na may game na another company na pud. So pero still anak gyapon me, we're good friends gyapon.
Nice. Sa ko mga friends nila kasi na may spare. sa imong experience, Shard, have you tried crowdfunding with your friends or family or relatives?
Not with my experience, but experience of the startups that we supported. So post research and development, they were able to attract traction. So, and after that, they were able to raise funding through family and friends. So maybe the lesson to that is you need to prove first that, there is a stamp already that it was government funded, it was DOST funded, and maybe it was like an assurance or a little bit of, ray of hope. No, that their friends saw na, okay, since it was DOST funded, potentially there might be a chance that that business will succeed. So that was actually the case of Aim High. So they were after DOST funding for research and dev, they were able to fundraise through FFF family friends.
I think it's very nice to have circle of friends na kumbaga marag business minded ba na they know the risk and they're willing to finance, they're willing to okay, usay if the business won't work, well, technically you might lose friends. Yan ang may tabo. No, if they don't understand. All right, so human naman ta sa atong mga friends and family na funding. Karon diri na ta sa more on focused nga source of funding, which is investments. So for Richard, actually wala ni siya gisulat pero I'm actually curious myself because when I started, I didn't really know how real investments work, and with the current issues like sa showbiz, sa because of investments, can you please help us out and the listeners and our viewers, like how does it work? Like dapat tay pre-seed na stage, so like can you explain the process of getting investments?
Yes, so in terms of funding, as I mentioned earlier, so it depends. We raise funding for different purposes, and we can raise funding depending on the state or the level of maturity that the business do have right now. So if we are still developing the product, so yung mga equity free or government funding, because low risk on side of the founders, and they won't pay for interest. So it's not the time that they have to get funding from loans from banks, and especially for tech companies. tech companies, when they are still ideating and testing, they won't actually qualify for banks as most of the case, right?
Yes, oo.
So it's because there's no evidence yet for the bank to see a guarantee that their investment, will be a smart investment for that venture. So once you are able to, as I mentioned, research and development, there's still a lot of moving factors. Kumbaga, you are not yet sure if the business will succeed. Once you're able to already build the business concept and ready to validate further, you can get investment from angel investors. So angel investors, they're using their individual or own money, no? So and usually they have some certain biases. So some, they're called impact investors. So which means they also are trying to invest for impact. So social impact, to be particular. So their qualification is that you should be a socially good company, right? So others, they're looking at certain sectoral focus. So other angel investors, their bias is to invest in ocean or marine portfolios. So it has to be in the blue economy. Some are into agriculture. So and it depends on the background of the investors, no? So in terms of their expectations of return, so versus venture capitalists, medyo hindi nila in-expect agad yung return. So they are kind of less pressuring and stringent in terms of how they expect return for the investment that they have. So usually, their funding helps the companies to mature their business operation. No, so you perhaps can raise angel investment to hire some more people to help you, run the operation of the business. And usually they get equity out of your business. No, and once the company is able to gain much traction, you're able to solidify your business model, and it's proven that there is a continuous repeat sales, no, and you're experiencing momentum. So and being able to again get some more traction, so you may start, pitching to venture capitalists. But usually venture capitalists, since they're using not their individual funding, and it's from various individuals, no, so they are more strict in terms of due diligence or qualifications or eligibility requirements to get their funding. So in most cases, they start funding as large as 500 thousand dollars up, no. So which means that your company is expanding, no. So for you to be able to justify fundraising through venture capital. So that's why once you reach venture capital fundraising, it means that your business kinda, no, is seeing a clear chances of succeeding. Kasi, the traction that will qualifies for a VC funding, is very stringent. Right? So, and in return, they get equity, shares. Some VCs, they would deploy some people or their, some experts to kind of help increase the possibility for the startup companies to succeed. So sometimes they would deploy CFO, no, or some certain role, no, na would help the business to grow. Going back to angel investment, before I lost the idea. Some angel investors, they, or many of them, they would like to be involved in the business. It's because it's their personal funding,
money,
no? So they might influence the direction of the business. So depending on their bias, again, I mentioned there are certain biases that they, disclose naman to whoever is fundraising. So those are actually the the landscape and the sources of funding that we have.
Okay, so for Angel, actually we Aquila Softwares, we when we started, nag angel investors ang among start no. So and I'm glad na those investors are still our partners up to this day, and they're very supportive sa company. Pero in cases na like the investors are kumbaga like you mentioned, they wanted to take control of the company, or because I've heard this one story, pero I think it's not an angel investor, pero it's one of the VCs na medyo dako sila. So what they did is when they invested in the company daw, they replaced the CEO. So, what are the thoughts na you have, or maybe you can have some advices on how to protect the founders as well? No? Okay, of course, dili gid maiwasan labi na sa startup na founders would really raise for, to further the vision of the company.
Right. So, for situations like that, maybe we look at it in the perspective of business as an entity, right? So, and maybe at some point, business is really personal because it's established by real warm bodies, which are human being, right?
Yeah.
So, but when it becomes an entity, usually the transaction or that difficult situation that's called this business decision making, sometimes they happen for a reason. So there is a lot of, I think I would say many of them are horrible stories. The mythical horrible stories about venture capital investors, taking over of the company and
Yeah.
hosting everybody from the board who's part of the founders pool. So yeah, it may happen, but it's not the entire story of how VC really works. So because sometimes it's just a product of as a wise business
Yeah.
decision for the company to survive and for the company to keep pace with the growth that they're looking at for the business. But for founders, when you are fundraising, make sure that you align your company or you fundraise with companies or with venture capital or investors who relate to your vision. So because after all, if we all die here,
Yeah.
not today,
Ayaw
or
shut
anytime
down.
yet, or anytime yet, what we leave to the world is our legacy.
Yeah.
And it could be the vision of your company. So if you're replaced today, or if you die today, your company will live on,
Yeah.
right? And it has to be, the vision that will make the community that you're serving remember who built that company.
Yes.
So, pwede na tayong matapos na dito. Hindi
Ayaw sa
naman.
I can actually cite kumbaga in terms of exit ba na napalaya sa company. Adam Newman from Viewer actually has a golden parachute worth $250 million exit. 'Di ba? So I think totally, pero I mean his story is different, pero kumbaga it's not all bad naman if you sa imo Sir Ton, like do you have an experience with investors, or do you need investments when you started your business?
Actually, wala eh. Well, ang mga businesses now is it's either from friends. Ang investments are from friends. Pero I usually run ang mga businesses na to, but I ask also help from them, like sila in charge accounting, sila in charge sa purchasing, para they are involved also sa operations. So kabalog pud sila unsa what's happening sa company, it's just ako lang gitong how ang dirty works, kasi the idea started from me eh, 'di ba? And then I just ask money or help from them, and then if it's possible na they can also help me, sa operations, like the accounting, may na. So wala jud ko experience na no kanang fear of like ma-replace ko. Oo, kasi halos lahat na ideas sa business na how it started nanggigikan sa ko eh, and then
Yeah. True. Kay mo lagi one of the things na some business owners fear is mas Steve Jobs, 'di ba? So I think this is a very interesting topic. So for business owners out there, and nali mga some of questions like how do they start? If I'm a business owner, how can I start getting funds, and how can Upgrade Innolab help me?
So, again, we are a business incubator and accelerator. So, as much as possible, we only help fundraise for those that we have supported under our incubation and acceleration program. So that we know that we are familiar of how they are as founders, of the ecosystem that they have built. So the way to go is enroll in our incubation and acceleration program and be part of our growing community. So Upgrades community is mostly present in Davao, but we are expanding outside Davao and trying to also help other communities in Mindanao find their community, and strengthen, what they're doing to help other entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so before we wrap up, what's one piece of advice you'd give to entrepreneurs who are just starting out and thinking about how to fund their small business?
Yeah, I think for founders or start entrepreneurs who are fundraising for the first time, my piece of advice is for them to fundraise for the right reason. So, and that right reason should be something related to them growing the business. It's not for them to buy a new car or get a new condominium unit, no? So, because again, you're fundraising for the business, it's okay to reward yourself later. But since you're fundraising for the business, make sure that it helps grow the business and not be spent to other unnecessary expenses.
Yeah, same with Sir Richard. No, I think you have this solid muna na business plan before you secure your funding. That's the one thing yun na very important for you na dili ka ma-distract to buy some sakyanan or condominium pag nanat tong kwarta. Kasi if you have that, you have this solid jud na gusto na mabuo ni imong business and then dili ka ma-distract. Tuloy-tuloy lang. It will all start with so why ka naghimo ani na business. Kasi if that's the very solid foundation, you'll not get distracted. Like for me sa Bloom, never spent jud any amount kay Bloom. Ginabalik lang gid namo siya always just to expand, and I think para for us mag-look back yun ang reason nga namin nag-start. So we help yun so dili mi later nang reward like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I think for us that's one thing na akong advice.
I just remembered one potential partner na we had, pero wala na dayon ang negotiation. Because before, I think it was our first time raising funds, and then we were raising an X amount, and then he told us na, what are you gonna be doing sa kanan amount? So I told him na, kay ibutang na mo sa bank para na ami pondo. So kung whatever project that we have, amo ang makuhaan. Ingon niya sa kuha. This guy has a lot of experience in Silicon Valley, to be specific. Unya ingon siya na kanang the money that you're not using is money that you're losing. So dito na nakaon ko nga tama, like if I'm gonna be fundraising, I wanna make sure na katong funds na ako ang magamit is akong gina-raise na funds is magamit gina ko para sa akong business. Kay mo to basin kung matulog lang imong kwarta sa bangko, inigdawat nimo sa investment na kay bag-ong raptor pagkaugma, di ba? So it's very important na when you fundraise, you make sure that you use it for the purpose of your business, and always remember na your business's money is not your own money. So it should be used and utilized by your business. So I think we've reached the end of our episode. So finally, where can our listeners find more information about Upgrade and the Bloom? So please promote it.
For Upgrade, so again, you can find us on Facebook. It's Upgrade Innolab Incorporated, INC. And some more information are also available on our website, www.upgradeinnolab.com. And you can catch us monthly during the Founders Forum. We usually announce it at Ideas Davao Facebook page. And definitely, you can learn a lot of things in that entrepreneurs gathering monthly.
For the Bloom Coffee, you can visit us at facebook.com/the Bloom Coffee, and also for instagram.com/the Bloom Coffee, and visit our website www.thebloomcoffee.com.ph.
So once again, this is Paulo Rodriguez of Aquila Softwares, and please don't forget to like and subscribe Vision to Venture, and of course please hit hit a like sa among Facebook page, Aquila Softwares, Clinics Plus, and Vision to Venture. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Bye.
Bye.
And cut!